wrong with him? He got a crack.
Well, he might be getting cracked. They said his stent didn't hold. So he's undergoing something today.
That's a crack.
I thought it came back quick last time. From being honest. He was in there. Yeah, I mean, he was in there. Actually, he might have been in there today. He wasn't in there today. He was in there doing something. Oh my gosh. Got West Virginia State show. He came in to see if I had everything done. I said, dude.
Hey, Bob, give me a white check with those whites. I'll see if I can my call.
They were hot earlier testing one.
Thanks, Bob. Good. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, Matt, which hospital is he?
Huh?
You know, is he in Memorial or
I would think the one over here in North City. That Jennifer or Memorial?
hooked up to the switchers and to the laptop. And so we're using the laptop to stream our and the switcher will just go back and forth between the two.
anyway, once you get, have that, we'll have a Sunday show. Because I get ran out. Round table for this. So maybe later or something. We'll see how they shake out. We probably got a special session. Yeah, because that, all 5 stations are in the show on Sunday. TRF, I think TRF actually runs it twice. They run it on the main channel, there's a lot of, like, BOI, it's the same thing, it's running on 2 channels. It's just aggregates down, exactly what it's on once.
People get some money, so
See what's happening.
gate you're at, on the white boarding, just go that way. The white board, here goes right there. Probably won't come in that door, there's two of them carrying it.
We've got a really important announcement later, but before we get into all that, I want to, I guess, re-plow some ground with you, and that's just this, is, you know, and I didn't think about doing this until just about 10 minutes ago, to tell you the truth. But I drove in the front gate, and as I was coming in the gate, I looked at the flowers. And I hope that from time to time, you'll take the time to see the beautification and the showing off of our pond, as I said in the past. Any frog that's not proud of his own pond isn't much of a frog. And if you'll just look at as you drive around the Capitol or whatever, people that come here and see us, they're going to love it. And so then I started thinking again about just this. You know, you beat on me pretty hot and heavy about, you know, not living in a mansion. Basically, what you're really doing is saying, you know, what we really want you to do, Justice, is we just, and you're hiding behind this terrible bush because there's nothing that gets by me. Nothing. I'm in contact with these people all the time. You know, I saw on one of the news shows the other day, it said, there's been a modern day miracle happen. And that the miracle was this, is that Congressman, the House, was in D.C. on Friday afternoon working. Well, there ain't such a thing as Friday afternoon to me. There's not such a thing as Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I work all the time. All the time. And I'm very, very proud to do that. So, when you basically say to me, or imply, that I'm not on the job or I'm not working, that's just getting right in my stuff. And that's really, that crawls all over me. Because I know none of you have a clue to the level of how much I work and how much I do what I do. Now, so I listed just a few things here, and I went back to the same old, and that's just this. And I want y'all, if y'all would just unveil these, and they're the same, they're pretty much the same. But why don't we, for just a moment, compare what I would call waste versus results. Now, I could sit, if you want me to sit, and do what we've done in the past, and that is basically drove us into no man's land. I could do that. If I just hang out at the mansion and do what I do in the past, you know, or people of the past, I don't need somebody to cook for me, clean the laundry, make my bed, clean my bathroom, drive me everywhere I go, have a party every other night with red wine or rum, the choices of whomever was there in the past. I don't need that. You see, I don't drink. I don't need that. I don't need you to pay my salary or pay my insurance or cater to my every whim. And your argument is, well, or what you have portrayed is, well, if you were there more, we'd get more done. And I'd say to you, you know, are you living in an absolute cave? Can you not see what we've gotten done? I mean, can you not see what we've gotten done? You had this little guy right here walk in on day one, and everybody was sitting around thinking, what do we do, what do we do, what do we do? And I've turned absolutely, I've gotten us out of debt and moving the right way with black numbers instead of red numbers. I got our teachers a 5% pay raise, and you'll hear from a gentleman later on today about that. We have turned corrections completely around. We've changed the entire footprint of education. Now think about this. For years and years and years, what did we do? We graded our schools A through F on a bell curve. On a bell curve. So what does that really mean? Here's what it means. Some are going to be A's, some are going to be F's, and the big majority is going to be C's. And we're going to tell everybody in the world, come to West Virginia. Most all our schools are C's. But we got rid of it. We got rid of this ridiculous testing. We're going to let our people drive up and down the turnpike for $8. $8 a year. You know. Now, somebody came along and said, let's absolutely exempt the veterans' retirement. Somebody else came along and said, let's pass a $3 billion road bond and create tens and tens of thousands of jobs. Now, somebody also came along and said, we got a problem with this flood relief effort, and we got to shut it down a second. And then you had a general come and tell you, after his review, after the general's review, not one not one person was adversely affected. Not one person was adversely affected by the pause. The general came and told you that. You didn't write that. You know, now, then we got our coal miners back to work. Then we had the second in command at the Coal Association sit right here and say, Justice's plan that he had been to Washington with over and over and over to save our coal miners and save the Pleasants Power Plant, they didn't. You didn't even ask a question about that. Now, there's on and on and on. But the guy that you want just sitting around is doing a heck of a lot of stuff. I made a t-shirt. I wish we could have got these done because I was going to give them to the naysayers. And I was going to put on the front of it results versus waste. That's waste. I got a cell phone. I don't need somebody waiting on me. I don't need somebody to drive me and buy my gas. I don't need somebody kissing my butt full time every day just because I was elected governor. I don't need that. That is nothing but waste. That's results. And we're going to put on the back of it, if you want all this stuff, as you've had in the past, your choice, first or 50th. Your choice. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, really and truly, if that's what we want, then you didn't need me. So, I would say this too. There are people here. There are people, I mean, you just imagine. Can you? And now this one is really difficult to say. But let's just tell the truth. You know, I'm hung up on the truth all the time. That's why you really are never going to catch me doing something that's not the right thing. I'll make mistakes, but you're not ever going to catch me doing something that's not the truth. That's all there is to it, because I just do the right stuff. I've told you over and over, I don't want anything for being here, but here's the truth. Just imagine this. Imagine how many state newspapers have gone into bankruptcy. How many have gone down the tubes? Probably not very many. State newspapers. We've had people here that have written for them for years and years and years. They have to take some responsibility for driving their company right into bankruptcy. They write stuff that's really and truly qualifies for an Inquirer magazine. Doesn't qualify for the state newspaper. I mean, they write, the justice's license plate is from a Florida plate. And when all you got to do is pick up the phone and call me and know that my transmission blew up and I had to rent a car. Lo and behold, the rental car had a Florida license plate on it. And they imply that justice is like Robert Carnes, maybe not even a resident of the state of West Virginia. It's just garbage. It's just garbage. And all of a sudden they awaken to the fact that their newspaper is bankrupt, and they don't even stop to say, well, heck, maybe, just maybe, I'm partially responsible for that. I am not going to let us drag ourselves down. You see, when we pull ourselves down, and that's exactly what, you know, Chuck Prezioso and Nancy Miley did the other day. They just pull us down. They prey on the weak to stay in office. That's what their goal is. Stay in office. Continue to be reelected. You know, stay in office. Seek the next highest office. Pull us down. I'm not going to have people pull us down. I'm too damn blame proud of us. That's all there is to it. This state is finally moving. The world and the nation really knows it. And I am damn proud of us. And damn proud of our people. And I'm not going to let you tear us down. There's nothing in the world you're going to be able anytime to write about me. You may say something in regard to, maybe I'm late paying a bill or paying a tax, but I always get there, don't I? I always get there. I don't walk away. I don't shirk responsibilities. It's hard. I mean, my good Lord of living, it's hard stuff. I mean, when you have an insurance company that owes you $70 million and they don't pay you, it's hard. It's hard stuff. But at the end of the day, you don't hear me whine. You don't hear me do anything. I'll stay at the mansion when it's convenient for me to stay at the mansion and it is profitable for the people of West Virginia. Never am I away. I'm not at the beach getting my tan. I'm never, ever away. Never. I don't ask the state plane to fly me on my vacation, fly me back. I don't do that. I don't do that ever. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to look out for the people, and I'm going to take care of the people of West Virginia in every way I can. Now, if I'd asked Dale Lee to come up here, we got something to announce in regard to PEIA, and it's good stuff. So come on up there. Maybe I can start reading this and you can just jump in, okay? Okay, in the spring, I asked the PEIA board to freeze the current plan until June of 2019. Remember the freeze we put on, to freeze PEIA benefits and PEIA costs until June of 2019. To ensure that we delivered on that promise, I am now asking the PEIA board to consider increasing the tiers that are used to determine rates by $2,700. This will affect the 14,000 state workers that would have been moved to a higher tier due to the 5% pay raise. So again, I promised these people, didn't I? I promised these people that their costs wouldn't go up and we would freeze it till 2019. Well, the 5% pay raise is actually causing their costs to go up. So we're going to raise the tiers. My PEIA task force recently completed their statewide listening tour and had excellent participation from across the state. I have asked the PEIA task force to gather all data and information that has come from these meetings and evaluate all suggestions and issues. I am asking them to study this over the coming months so that we can come up with a long-term fix for PEIA. The PEIA board meets this Thursday, June 24th or June 21st, and Ted Cheatham is here in the audience. And where Ted is, he needs to come on up here, Ted. Come on up here, we've got a place for you too. So, the net of this whole thing is just this. We've had a whole bunch of discussions with Ted and Dale and a lot of people and everything. We think we can do this, not cost us any money to amount to anything at all, and preserve a freeze that we basically said we were going to put in place. And the long and short of it is the task force has done great work. And in addition to the task force doing great work, they have told me some of the ideas that they have, and there's some really smart, good people that have listened to a lot of people. And the net of that whole thing is just this, is I do believe that at the end of the day, we're going to, now it's going to take a bunch of doing, because PEIA is, healthcare costs continue to rise, and it's fluid, but we're going to have some additional participation from the state, and a little bit here, a little bit there, but we can win this battle. We can win this battle on PEIA where we solve another issue. And you know why we're solving that issue? Nobody will be buying me toothpaste, or nobody will be cleaning my whatever, and nobody will be driving me around either. But we'll be solving it. Now, Mr. Lee, why don't you talk?
Our main concern was with the $2,000 pay raise and the $1,100 pay raise for service professionals, that it would be eaten up with an increase when it bumped them into a different tier in PEI premiums. We wanted to ensure that that wasn't going to happen, so the governor has called for the increase of $2,700 in the tier so that no one should see their premiums go up or their deductibles or out-of-pocket costs go up by bumping into a different tier just because of the pay raise. That was the concern that we heard over and over on the task force when we were traveling around the state. We brought it to the governor, and the governor says, yeah, we said a freeze is a freeze. You have to remember this is just another component of the investment in education that the governor has made. The governor made the investment in education, and we made the investment with the raise, and you don't make an investment and then take away from that with increasing premiums, and that's the short-term fix for this. We'll continue to go to the complete task force to look at ways that we can solve this problem.
Have you got anything?
To support you, Governor.
Thank you. I need a friend. Well, now I hope you heard Dale say this. From a teacher standpoint, I think Dale would agree 1,000%. From a teacher standpoint, I stepped forward, and it was a very, very difficult day, was it not? Stepped forward, and I stepped forward and said, we're going to do 5%. And I didn't waver. Now, and you have a man here that represents the teachers union who will tell you exactly that. Correct or incorrect?
Right. Once we came to the 5% number, the governor stood strong and did not waver. And of course, our people did a tremendous job for 9 days and made sure that they weren't going to waver either. That's what I talk about the investment. We truly, for one of the few times that I know, have made an investment in education in West Virginia. And we're going to continue to make that investment, and this just is another example of that continued investment that this governor is making in education.
It's a philosophy, guys. It's just that. From the standpoint of the very first day of the state, I said we ought to give our teachers a 2% pay raise. I said, I think at the same time, if I didn't say 10, I said shortly thereafter. We need to look at education as an economic driver. I've said this over and over. We do not need to look at education as a necessary evil that we've got to fund. That's all there is to it. We don't. You know, I see Mitch in the back of the room, and Mitch caught a bunch of grief and everything. And to be perfectly honest, you know, we thought we had a plan, and then I had to move away from the plan. I told Mitch, and you know, he caught a lot of grief from a lot of people and everything. It wasn't really very fair because he believes the same as I believe. He believes in education. He believes in our kids. You know, so many people across this great building here believe the same thing. Everybody, you know, from time to time, everybody gets scared about, well, good Lord, a living, we don't have the money. How are we going to do this or how are we going to do that? And when you get things going like this, you do have the money. And I believed it was there. You know, so don't down people that feel like they were trying to do what was prudent within our dollars. You know, but the other thing I would tell you is just this. You got a man standing right here that says, Justice stepped right up and said he was rock solid at 5%. For everybody. Mitch and them drove that boat too when they said for everybody. But Justice stepped right up and said it. You had the leader of the band from the standpoint of the Coal Association said, Justice got you the Justice coal plant, and Justice, without question, saved every one of those workers at that Pleasance plant and who knows what else. And in addition to that, you've had Tom Smith say his stuff. And I'm going to forget something, you know, but you've had experts, you had a general say, not a single person that he can find, not a single person heard from the pause. And the pause, we know, saved us millions of dollars. Millions. And the pause got stuff going like crazy. And the pause uncovered all kinds of problems that we had. You see, I've said it over and over and over. I'll make mistakes. But to sit around and wonder whether or not, you know, where I'm going to sleep tonight, you know, and that's the news. Really? Is that the news of this state? You know, because if that's the news of this state, all we do is tear ourselves down. Tear ourselves down. You know, so the news of this state is we're going to solve the riddle of PEIA that nobody could ever do. Nobody could ever do it. We're going to solve the riddle. We're going to solve it. Now, once we solve that riddle, then everybody's sitting around thinking, there's no way. There's no way. What are we going to do then? What are we going to write about then? Why don't we write about something that says, come to West Virginia. We've solved the riddle on PEI. We've solved the riddle on thing after thing after thing after thing. The flowers are pretty, and we're proud of ourselves here. Come to West Virginia. West Virginia's got coal mine jobs. It's got all kinds of jobs. For crying out loud, we've got road construction and pipelines and coal jobs and tourism going. We've got everything in the world that's happening right at our fingertips, and we're investing in education because we think that's the way to look at it. Why pull us down? I just don't get it. I don't get it. So you can continue to do whatever you choose to do, and if you continue to try to come up with something somewhere with some word on it or whatever and everything to pull us down, go ahead. Go ahead. But I'm going to sing the praises to the top of every mountain that every West Virginian in this state needs to want to be first instead of 50th, and every West Virginian in this state needs to be proud of who they are. We don't need to be beat down anymore. You know, forevermore we were beat down. Beat down. Expected to pay our teachers. You guys both have beautiful shirts on. But expected to pay you dead last. Because you're in West Virginia. But you see, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think that our West Virginia teachers are terrific. I'm in the school. Gosh, I know. I know. I'm in the school. You know, and you may say, well, what is our governor doing coaching the basketball team? Well, I'm going to tell you, coaching the basketball team gives our governor all kinds of insight, and I will promise you, to the Lord above, I will never miss a beat of anything whatsoever that's going on right here. It's right there. It's right there. In 18 months. It's right there. Your testimony to what's happening. Why shouldn't I be with those kids? You're daggone right I ought to be with those kids. And I'm going to be with them. And I'll stay in the mansion when it's convenient for me. And it's convenient for our state. So, got any questions, you can fire away.
You know, ballpark figure, do you have any idea how much this would have cost teachers and other state employees had they been bumped into the higher PEIA bracket from now until the first of the year?
It depends on which bracket they would have bumped into. Some of them were as high as a 25% increase in their premiums. Most teachers ran into the $50 to $55 a month price range on Plan A. So we didn't want to ensure that that's taken away from their thank you. We wanted to make sure that they received the entire $2,020 raise, not have part of it go back into insurance premiums from the bump.
Follow up for Ted. Do we know the total cost of this freeze to the program?
Actually, Phil, it's really revenue neutral. PEIA is already, with the governor's freeze of $29 million, we have the right amount of premium to be at 80/20, and this actually would have taken us a little bit out of 80/20. It is a revenue neutral decision.
Governor, last time you had the revenue folks in here, you were projecting a possible $30 million surplus at the end of this fiscal year. Might some of that money be put in to offset the PEIA costs, or is that just...
Martin, could be. I think at the end of the day, not to offset this $2,700, but I think at the end of the day, and this will be something that, you know, that we'll ask Mitch and Glenn and the powers to be, you know, from the House and all that and everything, but at the end of the day, I believe the state will have to step up to some degree. It may be 15 million, it may be 10 million, maybe 21 million. It's not going to be astronomical, but the state will have to step up to some degree, along with the other ideas that we have from the task force, to make it a reality.
Governor, teachers have asked that the task force work to be finished before the November general election. Do you think that that's reasonable? Would you push for that?
Now say that one more time.
Teachers want the task force to be done before the November election.
Yeah, I do too. And there, you know, I mean, really, wouldn't it be wonderful if we didn't have that to be one of the hot buttons of the political issue and everything? And you know, what would be really great is if we could come up with a resolution in later August or early September, and that's, you know, maybe that's ambitious, but that's what I hope for.
Well, Dale and Ted, is that realistic to have this done before election?
Absolutely. That's my...
I would hope it would be.
That is our goal.
Dale, you're on the task force yourself. Is this an idea for this short-term fix popular with members of the task force?
You know, it came about, it came about quickly when I was at the meeting on Monday night listening to the numbers. We ran some numbers and noticed that it would be difficult for people to receive the pay raise and then take it back out in premiums. So everything happened quickly. So I really can't. I would think from what we've heard across the state that the task force members thinks this would be the right thing to do.
Governor, discussing the savings of the governor's mansion, is the full-time staff still on payroll at the mansion?
They pretty much are, but let me tell you what we're doing at the mansion. We're charging people to use the mansion. You know, if there's a group that wants to come in from Marshall University or whomever, and they want to have a function there and everything, we're billing them. And I don't know that it's ever been done before. Before, all that money that was going on there has just kind of swept under the rug and everything. But trust me, when you have party after party after party at the mansion, and you have booze like crazy and everything else there, it runs a big tab. But we're actually charging people, and the people that are working there in the mansion, we're giving upteen tours of kids and everything. The mansion is really busy, really, really busy. They're just not busy taking care of me. They're busy, you know, doing stuff for the people of this state.
Governor, if I could delve into your results board there, because I think that's something the Democrats are taking issue with and why they're being so harshly critical of you. They look at things, for example, like saved corrections.
Well, I don't mean, tell me, I didn't save corrections. I mean, you know, we moved forward with a pay raise, a significant pay raise that would really put corrections back in line with what it ought to be. I mean, these are just bullets, you know, to get us talking and everything. I surely didn't say corrections.
Okay. Because what they're saying is a lot of these were their initiatives, particularly that one, and they got bipartisan support from the legislature, and then it wound up on your desk, and they thought you were claiming credit for something that really they initiated.
No, I don't mean that at all. What I mean is these things have been accomplished by what we've done. I mean, we couldn't save corrections if we hadn't changed the numbers from red to black. We couldn't have. We couldn't have done anything we did if we hadn't come up with the ideas and made the right moves at the right time. You know, we would have sat around just like we did for years saying, oh, I don't know what we're going to have to do here, you know. I guess we're going to have to cut this and cut that. We can't do this the other way. And we just drift further and further and further into no man's land. With every cut, you drive somebody else away. When somebody else leaves, then when you turn around and look and their revenue that they were bringing in is gone, you discover maybe I'm dragging the whole right with me. You got to do something different. And you can say what you want, but I've brought a lot of different here. I've brought the perspective of a business guy, and it's worked. I don't care what anybody would say, it's worked. The Democrats are criticizing me because they're crying over spilled milk. When I changed parties because of one thing, and that was the neediest people in West Virginia, the Democrats walked away from them when they could have helped them. That's all there is to it. Secondarily, my friendship with Donald Trump has been a real winner. I grew up as a Republican. I needed to be a Republican. That's exactly what I am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm speaking maybe out of turn, but my heart is telling me to say this. Just from a parent's point of view, as a perspective, I was just looking for a Girl Scout troop today. They just went and toured the governor's mansion and the Capitol. We've got two of them sitting here in the crowd now. But speaking from a mom's point of view and West Virginia, I'm kind of tired of hearing the Democratic stuff and Republican stuff. As a state, we need to work together and set aside differences so that our little ones right here have a voice and something to work towards in their future.
Amen. I could never in my life agree with you more. In the first state of the state, I was a Democrat. First state of the state. And I said, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. We need to all be West Virginians. I have said it till I'm blue-green. The exact same thing. Now, the problem that I have now is you got people that are throwing rocks at me and everything, which is so uncalled for, it's off the chart because of party things. My soul, to my soul above, you got too many people on the outside that throw rocks at us, and I hope the little fellas here hear me. You got too many people on the outside, whether it be Ohio or California or whatever, that are throwing rocks at West Virginia and have done it forever. We don't need to be Republicans and Democrats or independents. We need to be West Virginians. I have said it on blue-green. A lot of times it doesn't resonate.
I've never yet seen anything that's ever been built up by being torn down.
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for Mr. Cheatham. We were talking about a $2,700 increase in tiers and how that becomes a revenue neutral action with PEIA. Provider costs are going to continue to increase. So what steps and what actions will you all be taking to ensure that neutrality? And how long is that going to last?
Yeah, so when I say I believe I'm estimating it to be net revenue neutral. It may cost us a little money because I believe, some people may not get as large a raise if they actually drop a tier. We're trying to run those numbers now, but I don't believe it's significant at all. I mean, this is very doable. What the governor wants to do is try to accomplish. We build into our plan every year medical trend, utilization trend, and we put that into our plans to take into account pricing changes for physicians and hospitals and those medical trends. So they're built into our plan over the years.
Governor, I'm looking at your results list. I see the $8 Easy Pass up there. I hate to nickel and dime you, but doesn't the way that actually work is that you pay a $13 one-time fee for the pass. If you buy it before the end of the year, it'll cost you $24 or $8 for the next 3 years. If you buy it after the first of next year, it'll be $24 every year.
Well, I've got to say this, you know, I don't follow exactly that with Tom Smith, but what they came up with was basically this. They came up with a $24 3-year deal and everything, and but you're correct.
Come back here. On Friday, we talked about a scale of commerce that was new to many of us, and I noticed that a new program that had been part of commerce, the Excel program, the executive loan program.
Right.
The web presence for that program came down over the weekend. I wonder if you could update us on the status. Is that program done now?
Ray, you've got to come up here and answer this, because Brian Abraham could answer it better than I, but Ray, I'm sure, can answer it better than that as well.
I was asking if the Excel program, the executive leadership loan program, was finished with commerce.
And Dale, thank you.
Thank you.
Two pieces to the Excel program. One was the loan executive, and one was the difference. The loan executive had a lot of conflicts and ethical challenges in that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, y'all have a good day. Go look at the flowers, look at the sky. Everything's good here in this state. We're moving. Thank you. You're doing great. Keep it up. Keep it up. Oh, gosh, I love this. How y'all doing? Come around here. Let's get a picture made. Okay? How y'all doing? Oh, I love it. What trip are y'all on?
You want this picture, correct? Yeah.